partied, and like he was the opposite of Rarity. He was very much attuned to what I wanted to do, and so watching this was like, come on, Rarity, why don't you know your sister? Get good.
Yeah, it did feel like this relied a lot on character
Rarity being
ignorance of her
super-
just not realizing what was going on. But
Yeah.
Her just
whatever.
being gone for too long.
And this episode really hits like growing up and just growing up.
Speak for yourself.
Like for me being a brony, some people tell me to grow up, but you can't grow up from this stuff that hits you for so long. And I feel like
I don't think that
I don't
was
think
the
that's
lesson.
what it was. I think what it was, because if that were the lesson, then why would Sweetie Belle not care at all
Yeah.
about
Well-
anything she liked as a kid?
But all right,
The
but hold on,
lesson
let's
was
back up for a second. At the very beginning, we see Rarity back out. Is this Manhattan or Canterlot?
Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Okay, Manhattan.
Manhattan.
Either way,
Manhattan was that one.
I noticed an interesting pattern in how Rarity was confident and in control, and then her assistant. What's her name? Is it something?
no
Saddles?
It's like
idea.
Sassy Saddles.
Yeah,
Sa-
Sassy Saddles,
anyway,
that's
she
it.
she says something to Rarity that convinces her, okay, you can go ahead and go. And I noticed in the treehouse with Sweetie Belle and her friends, they basically said the same thing to her about going to visit with Rarity. I thought that was an interesting parallel of how similar they are as sisters. Anyone else catch that?
Yeah.
And of
Yeah.
course, we saw a cult get a cutie mark. I guess they're dime a dozen now.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're really good at that.
He was a throwaway. He's not important.
There's
This
going to
is
be a
the first
cutie
one.
mark bubble where
I
all the
guess
kids
it
in
just
Ponyville
shows,
have
like,
them
what they
already.
do, yeah.
Now,
It's
I
just
was
to
looking.
establish that they do it.
I was looking at the chat for the live stream, and I've noticed people were saying how the CMC refers to them as clients.
Yeah,
Does that mean they actually
Oh,
pay
no,
for them?
no.
it wouldn't surprise me.
no.
I don't know.
That could be like, no. If that's their destiny, it's their cutie marks is to work together to do this. Maybe that's their job. Maybe they do get paid.
I mean, but
How would
here's
they
the
make
question:
a
is like,
living?
how
That is
does
a good
money
question.
work in Equestria? Like, what are bits? The best theory I've heard with bits is that they are not actually money the way that we see them, but a bit is equal to a purchase. Like, one bit equals you are allowed to make one purchase. Therefore,
Oh,
like
no.
everything can cost one bit.
You're
No, it
going
doesn't.
too
We already
deep
know
in
that's not
philosophy.
true.
No, you can charge more purchases per thing. It's sort of like
Well,
like if you think this is worth 2 purchases, so then it becomes like money, but not money exactly.
so basically they're paying,
You're becoming too
paying to get their cutie
philosophical,
marks. Is that what they're doing? Is they're paying?
Yeah, it's
people
like
to
the
get their-
cutie mark racket.
The cutie mark Crusaders racketeering.
The cutie mark
Yay!
con.
Also,
Yeah.
a little different.
Capitalism,
I
yeah.
noticed Claire Corlett's voice changed a lot.
Yeah, no, it changed a lot. And I was
It's
actually
like
thinking.
she's grown up or something.
I know, right? And I was thinking during this episode, like, oh, we don't have that squeaky bell anymore. I missed that.
Squeaky bell.
That was
Her
like the whole
voice would
reason they
crack.
cast
So-
her, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So basically, now we're in the era of them growing up to where they're in their teenage years, and you don't understand me.
I
Hey,
mean,
bronies,
like,
grow
they
up.
have
You
some
kind of have to
self-reference
wonder,
between
is
her.
the show growing up because it's just time to, or because they kind of have to with the voice actors
I think it's a
becoming
little
adults
bit,
and all?
a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I feel like they just feel like it's kind of time to something like that. I don't know.
Because how much older is Claire now? Like it was 7 years ago, I guess. Now
Yeah.
the show started. So I mean, how old was she when they started?
I don't know for sure, but I want
More
to
than
guess
like-
like 14, was it?
Yeah, so
She's
14.
pretty young.
So she's a bit older now.
That
Oh,
might not be a
yeah.
right age, so don't quote me
Wait,
on
Little
that.
Shy,
but-
do you have that
She's young.
face? Wait, hold on, Little Shy. Do you have that face of Rarity when she's looking at Sweetie Belle?
No, I
was
don't.
It was. Oh, I gotta go back. I gotta make a meme.
Make all the memes.
Anyway,
So I have written
So, yeah.
down in a more pessimistic tone is that this was the embarrassing parent episode, even though it wasn't a parent. It's
Yeah.
cliche number 352. Like
Yeah. Again,
Yeah,
like
like-
I'm not saying it's good because it was like an amazing plot. I'm just saying I liked it because it was very personal to me.
And I like how they had
Yeah.
two different but very related storylines going on that connected at the end. That was good writing as usual. I think or good storytelling, really. I don't know. about
Speaking of
But
writing,
when-
who wrote this
when
episode?
when they
it was
did
Michael
connect it,
P.
when they
Fox.
did connect it, it just seemed kind of predictable when they did connect it, right?
I think it
Or
was
is
the
that just
Fox
me?
brothers wrote this episode. I think they're brothers. I'm not sure actually.
Oh.
Michael J. Fox.
No, Michael P. Fox and Will Fox. it says.
Oh my God, the lamb part with Sweetie Belle. I was just like,
I know, exactly.
What about the super tall? I mean, not super
Oh,
tall. The
it just
super
hits
super
me.
small Sunday.
Oh.
That was
Yeah,
pretty cool.
small
Oh, it's so
The small
cute.
little Sunday.
Is that like a satire or parody of kitty-sized cones?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like
One
super
little
small,
bite-
like
bite.
one bite and you're
Yeah.
done.
I
Mike,
also,
you're done.
I also thought it was really funny how Rarity paid her like under the table in like a big green stone. to get
That's
this,
It hits me.
Are you okay, drummer?
Yeah, you gonna be alright, drummer?
The sheep hits me so much. It's so cute.
We need to send him out.
Sweetie
He's-
Belle is a sheep.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
need to
and,
send him out. We need
and
to
then the
send him out. He's-
photo shoot
he's
and all the photos, Sweetie Belle is always like the smaller thing or like the baby
Yeah.
thing.
We should also clarify that the ongoing story, in addition to Rarity treating Sweetie Belle as a child, even though she's growing up now, is also, what is that character's name? The one with the funny accent?
Yeah, I was wondering-
accent.
The one with
Wouldn't
the paw thing.
They said it once. Yeah, the paw, that one.
I thought it was kind of slipping from Spanish to Russian.
Philly
at some points.
something?
No,
anyway,
Oh yeah,
her
I did
dog.
Russian and like
It
I
was
like
Greek.
the beginning.
Her
was
dog
Greek.
is no
I
longer a
knew it
puppy,
from
and
the
she had
accent.
to
It was
learn
Greek.
to treat it like a dog and not a puppy. So that was the simultaneous story going on with that. I don't know. It was interesting how they tied the two together. I thought.
I thought it was a Russian accent, but immediately I thought it's a Greek accent.
Is it?
Greek?
Yeah, probably. Is it
What?
just Tabitha St. Germain? It sounds like her.
Well, they didn't air the credits, so we can never find.
They didn't
they
air the
just cut it
credits.
off. Yeah, they cut it off. They cut it off
Yeah.
as soon as the episode ended.
We gotta
What if
look
this?
back.
If they go the Marvel route, we'll never know.
No.
So I'm kind of I say this a lot, but I'm conflicted about this episode because on one hand, it's like a classic story, and it also promotes the growth of Sweetie Belle and the show as a whole and all that. But on the other side, it's like a major
done too
cliche.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
just
I could totally see that.
Yeah,
I would not say this is a great episode. Like what they're trying to do is good. It's just not done too well. And I would rather have something that's not too interesting done well versus something that's interesting done poorly.
I mean, I thought it was
Well,
better than the last.
I'm conflicted
Yeah.
too
Yeah, I thought it
because
was better.
I'm conflicted too for the same reason. Because it's good that they're progressing characters and that someone's. It's good that it's good that they're letting characters grow up and we're seeing them age, and I think that's pretty cool. But the way they handled it in the
20.
episode just seemed more cliche or just predictable in my mind.
well, yeah, that's the thing. The show, I say this a lot again, but the show has always been super predictable. But I think
Yeah, I
what
mean,
made it
it's no
special
surprise.
Yeah,
is
I
the
mean,
Yeah,
characters
there's
and the
some
funny
funny,
moments.
The way
I
they
mean,
handled it is
what's
it's
that?
More,
My Little Pony
more
is
predictable than
predictable?
normal.
Oh
More
wow.
predictable than normal, really.
So
You
were
know
there
what?
many funny moments in this episode? Anybody
What?
have any favorites?
There were a few good faces and jokes here and there.
Oh
but it
no
wasn't, amazing.
no! Okay, no. The balloon pony having feelings for Rarity. I thought that was
Oh,
hilarious.
is that what was
They
going on?
shunned her out.
I didn't see
that went
that
right
at all.
over my
Yeah, I
head.
saw
Please
that.
read it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that
gives
what
him a heart.
happened?
And
Poor
Rar's like,
guy.
"No, thank
Poor
you."
guy. He gives him.
Oh, that's why he gave her flowers. I
No,
didn't.
and he
know
gave
that
her a
at all.
heart, and it deflated when she left. I get that
Yeah.
now. Wow, I missed
Oh.
that.
I didn't
Oh.
even realize
Do I
that.
have a screenshot of that?
I know. I feel like Rarity now.
How did I miss that? That's funny. So yeah, moments like that is what I think makes the show as good
Yeah.
as
Like
it
the
is.
small subtle thing.
Yeah.
I felt like, I felt like this episode hit the Peter Pan syndrome, where it's just like, hey, we
Really,
you
Peter
guys are-
Pan?
Yeah, I mean, growing up and
Well,
stuff.
this
you just-
episode
Are
isn't
you
about.
talking?
Yeah,
Staying
Peter Pan
young.
is about being
Drummer.
afraid to grow up. This is about
Drummer.
facing after you've grown up.
Yeah.
Drummer, are you?
Which is
Unless you're
really
talking
Are they
about
gonna
the,
even wait? No. Are they even gonna handle that at some point in an episode? Or are they gonna do an episode where they're afraid to grow up?
They just I
Yeah.
don't know. They kind of
It's
just
a bit
did.
late for that.
Yeah.
we gotta
See,
kinda
this is about like telling others that you are grown up and asserting that you are an adult.
Well, yeah, but they're only
Or at least a teenager.
turning teenagers right now.
Well,
in
yeah.
the
I mean,
show.
so
How do you-
other than
what's
the
the
fact that they
metric
got
for
cutie
adults?
marks, obviously, is this kind of confirmation that they are older now and the show is aging?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I
I
mean, we-
mean,
To an extent, we
is
next to be true, but
before
yeah.
Twilight
Next thing you
becomes
know,
a
Flurry
video.
Heart is gonna be an adult.
all the main six would be
Oh.
Man,
Alicorns.
can't wait for My Little Pony 2030. How about you guys?
But no, I mean that's the sort of thing the show kind of has to decide, and I guess it's being forced to make the CMC grow up just because the voice actors are growing up, of course. But the show has to decide: is it going to age over time, or is it going to stay like a lot of other cartoons and just kind of never age?
Timeless.
I guess. Yeah.
If it ages over time,
I kinda
I'll
want it
have
to
to
age,
draw
yeah.
down My Little Pony as
Yeah,
my
that'd be
favorite-
pretty
as my favorite
interesting.
show in the world because
Like-
of how they handled things.
I mean, I
If
guess
it
I
goes
say
up-
that
I haven't
it kind of already
before.
has with Twilight becoming an Alicorn and Sweetie Belle getting the CMC getting cutie marks and all that. So it kind of I answered my own question there. It is kind of aging.
Like, what would you say is a good example for a timeless cartoon, like SpongeBob or
Yeah.
Ed, Ed and Eddie?
Like
would you say those
SpongeBob's
are,
been in his
timeless?
20s for how long now? 20
Oh, yeah,
years.
but They're
20
yeah,
years,
they're timeless, but My Little Pony is different because it's
Whereas like My Little
timed.
Pony was going more like the Friends route or the How I Met Your Mother route, where they're kind of forced to do character progression because it's spanning for so long, and some of the characters started off young, and so they can't do the young voices anymore, so they have to become adults.
Yeah. I guess that's what I was saying originally. Is the show being forced to grow up, or is it actually just natural progression?
Does it want to?
Yeah. Huh.
Do they want to?
Deep questions here for My Little Pony. Friendship is magic.
These are the questions that must
I would
be
have to.
answered.
I would have to say it's pretty much being forced because we're at season 7 right now, and now they're just starting to grow up. So you know.
Yeah, this definitely feels like it's like, oh, hey, Sweetie Belle, we need you to be cute and adorable, and Claire's like, I can't do
Puberty,
that.
I can't.
I wonder if the lesson is for us to tell us the show is growing up. Get over it. It's not going to be the same as season 1. Get over it,
They're trying
bronies.
to get rid of us.
Move on with your lives. Get out of here. Move on.
It's like Sweetie Belle does not want to look back at memories because it thinks it's cringy or something.
No, I don't think it's.
I don't think
because-
that's no. I think she's just grown out of like the habits of
eating a
being young. You
spoonful
know.
of a sundae.
Yeah, and I did say this
Not
is,
even a spoon, Turtle. Not even a spoon.
Not even-
I did
spoon,
say
like-
this is the embarrassing parent episode, but even then, now that I think about it, it didn't push it that far to, like Drummer Side said, the cringe level. It didn't get to that point. Just, almost did,
You're
but not
close.
quite. So I don't know. I think they handled it pretty well for such a cliched concept. They handled it well, I think. All right, you want to jump into individual reviews now?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Let's do it. Drummer Shot, you're first.
All right. I like this episode. It had a lot of stuff about like growing up. Sweetie Belle making a perfect example. It was good. I really enjoyed this episode. Last week's episode I didn't really enjoy, but this one I really enjoy. I liked the sculpting scene. I liked the Cutie Mark Crusaders being clients and employees.
Like
and,
the being clients.
Okay. And then I like everything about Sweetie Belle growing up, and one negative thing I like to say is like how can I say this? Like one of the Kmart Crusaders leaving one of the ponies. I mean, work with that work with that pony. So I thought this episode was pretty good. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10.
All right,
awesome.
wow. 9 out of 10 from Drummer Shy. Jenny, you're
Wow.
next.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was pretty cute. Like, besides being, very cliche of like, you're, of Sweetie Belle growing up and already treating her like a little kid, like, she hasn't grown up. Like, parents do that, You don't want their kids to grow up, so they treat them like little babies and stuff.
Yep.
I do that sometimes. But I think overall, I feel like the Rarity Sweetie Belle thing could be an episode by itself, but I don't mind the little interaction of that other little filly. What's her name? It was like Zipper or something.
Oh, yeah, Enigma said it was, oh, darn, I have to scroll up now. What was the name?
Zipper
Zipper
Will.
World,
There it
yeah.
is.
Enigma said that.
Zipper Will.
Zipper Will or Zipper Quill?
Zipper
Probably
Will.
Or Zipper Quill.
Yeah,
Will.
yeah, that was good. I liked it. I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
All right, another
Wow,
9 from
right.
Jenny.
Like, it wasn't like the best episode, but I liked it.
All right, I'm next on the list, but I'm gonna wrap things up, so we're gonna jump to Nick Me.
Okay. So personally with the episode, I'm so about it, 50-50. But the only good things that I really saw from the episode were the jokes in it. I didn't really care much for the story, other than the fact that they're starting to progress the episode and growing up the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and it shows that it's progressing. Even though it may be forced, I'm really happy that the show is trying to do it, because they could have not done it, but they're still trying to do it. So I think that's pretty cool. They're going to open up horizons. They're going to start showing. I'm wondering if they're going to do like a kind of puberty episode. I have no idea. But
Oh, no.
I think that'd be interesting. If that were to happen. So, if I'm gonna rate the episode, it's not gonna be as high as everyone else. But I'm gonna give it like a 7.5, somewhere in between 7 to 8.
You want to go with 7.5?
7.5. Yeah.
All right.
Is this your final answer?
Is that
Yeah,
your
the
final
funny-
answer?
The funny parts were good. My favorite part so far was with the Bloom Pony just getting shunned by Rarity. That was hilarious. I can't get over that.
All
But
right,
yeah,
Shady Games.
7.5.
Oh, all right, yeah, Shady Games.
So I don't know if you noticed, but this episode really reminded me of Some Pony to Watch Over Me. You guys remember that episode?
Is that
It
with
kinda-
Yeah, it seemed because it
Yeah.
seemed like they were foreshadowing or just going after, they were reminding me of a different episode because it
Hey,
seemed
It's
similar.
Shady Games' turn.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
So
But he asked the question
up,
though. He
bud.
asked the question.
Shut up.
Well, yeah,
Come back, Ism.
But yeah, Some Pony to Watch Over Me was another okay episode, and like they covered Apple Bloom, and now they cover Sweetie Belle in terms. I don't know. Yeah, Sweetie. I'm a little tired today, so I might forget ponies' names. Anyway, I don't know if they're gonna do that sort of treatment with Scootaloo, maybe, but we haven't seen her parents. So, besides that, I want to say this episode kind of gave me some warm feelings because it kind of reminds me the relationship between me and my mother. She kind of treats me like I'm still her little baby, that kind of thing. So with that, the only complaint I have against it would probably be, well, I don't really have that much to complain about, actually. I guess it's how oblivious Rarity was during the whole episode. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Otherwise, I'd have to say this was a pretty darn good episode, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10.
All right.
Oh,
8 from
Shady,
Shady?
no.
Turtle, you're next. What, did
You
you
guys
not
are
like
all
it?
gonna hate me. Okay,
Oh,
so
here we
it's not
go.
that I didn't like it. It's that
Yeah,
I found it. Okay, you didn't dislike it. You did dislike it. So what I found out was just the contrast that I have had from this versus my own personal experience from just the other night. And as I said before, the other night I went out drinking with my brother, who is like 5 years older than me, so kind of the same age gap between Rarity and Sweetie Belle, maybe. So it's like it's enough that he's much older than me, he has more experiences than me, and he's treated me like his little brother. And so what happened the other night was we went out drinking, and it was to go to a friend's birthday party. More specifically, his friends, not mine. So I didn't know anyone there. And at first he was like, "Oh yeah, you drive me home. I'm going to get drunk with my friends." I was like, "Okay." And then he realized, "Wait, you've never been out drinking, have you?" I went, "No." "Okay, here, take this." And he handed me his drink. And just like from that point on, I kept drinking and got really drunk. But he totally kept me safe the whole time. And he like looked out for me. He was like, he was a very, very good older brother. And if he ever sees this, thank you for last night. That was awesome. But
So
now
you're
I'm
relating
going,
your drunken experiences with My Little Pony, okay?
yes, exactly. My drunken escapade with cartoon horses talking about family.
Go back
now
to
that-
Jay Holler's streams.
Now, that said, I'm going to relate this to Rarity. Rarity, that was the most tone deaf I think I've ever seen you. That she was like, and the theme, the themes of the episode were there, but just the execution was just really, really. Like Little Shy said, it really depended on her being ignorant older sister and not knowing what her sister was like at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my ranting and raving and say it's not looking good. This episode gets. I'm trying to decide between a 5 or a 6.
Ooh.
I'm going to be nice
feel you,
and say
Turtle.
6.
I
If
feel
you had
you,
a
Turtle.
A 6.
6.
Peer pressure. Make that a 7. Come on.
No,
All right,
it's not, it
so-
cannot be a 7 for me.
I suppose it's my turn. I always say this too much, but again, I'm conflicted because this was a well-made episode. It was the story played out well. Lots of new backgrounds I even noticed that were really well made and all that. Yeah, it flowed together well, kept me interested and all that. But this is more of a personal thing. But I just didn't feel like it had many funny moments or memorable moments like so many other episodes do. There wasn't any parts that made me like laugh out loud or think, "Oh, that's such cartoony shenanigans." It was more of a laid-back sitcom. They could have done this live action, I feel like. Like, this is the sort of story that doesn't need to be a cartoon to be told. And yeah, like Rarity being, I think Turtle said tone deaf and just not realizing what was going on and all that. And again, they could have pushed that further to a more obnoxious point, but they didn't. And I have to appreciate the episode for not going that far and being cringy, like I think Remmershai said before. But yeah, overall, it was a good episode, but not one I would want to watch over and over. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So let's calculate our average for the Little Shy live stream.
Drummer
Okay, I
Drummer
just
Shy's not
like
here to
the
give
way
us the
it
drum roll. So.
Oh no!
Oh no!
All right.
Jen,
Well,
give it to the drummer.
well, anyway, the
Yeah.
average is
Jenny roll.
7.75, so like 7 3/4.
Oh, there he is. There he is.
Oh, we need a drum roll, Drummer Shy. Well, it's too late now.
Hold on.
No, it's too late. I already gave it. 7.7.
Ah.
I made it that number.
All right, everyone. That will
I
conclude
made
the
it.
recorded portion. If you're here live, stick around. We'll be live a little bit longer. But those of you watching the recording, thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you next time. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye, internet.
Bye.